Wall Street Memes Casino.
I'm fine.
And Sportsbook.
Andrew McCart, iFLTV, delighted to be joined by Mr. Eddie Hearn himself. Eddie, it's quite noisy in here, but I'm sure you can hear me. Yeah, huge fight week here in Leeds. Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. I do want to talk about Saudi and the weekend there, your sort of aftermath, how many days later, but Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall, the bad blood, they don't like each other. Have you seen anything like this since Grove Froch?
No, I mean, look, this is the biggest fight in Britain this year by a mile. What great timing as well after Fury Usyk. I mean, more subscribers on DAZN than ever, more interest in the sport than ever. Sold out in Leeds Arena, going to have 11,000 in there. It's going to be absolutely wild. And yeah, like you said, Froch Groves, Bellew Cleverly, Frampton Quigg, this is one of them. And a great time to put the flag in the sand for British boxing and say, we're still here, you know, and what a great fight we're going to get. Two great fighters, you know, one from your neck of the woods as well. Loads of Scots coming down. The atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. And this is war on Saturday night. Two guys that, on sight, want to attack each other. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of feeling. You know, even with Frampton Quigg, you know, Fury Grove, Froch against Groves, when they come face to face, something's got to happen to get a reaction. These two, as soon as they're near each other, they want round the throat. They want to fight now, you know? And, you know, I can't wait to see it.
You said that it's on site, but does boxing need the storylines? We see the storyline with Fury and Usyk, so to speak, the little bad blood, the back and forth calling him a rabbit, but does boxing need these storylines? Or
we do, but then what we can't do is when someone loses, start slagging them off. It's a bit like Fury. Oh well, he was calling in this, he was calling that. Yeah, it's called a build-up. It's called promotion. And by the way, when you give it a big one and you get beat, you have to take the heat that comes with it. But we also have to understand, outside of there, it's not real. It's just a show. It's just a stage. You know, the feelings and emotions are real, but the magnifying glass that we all put on them, you can't expect them just to be normal. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not a normal sport. Someone asked me a question the other day. They went, try and explain boxing to an alien. Right? Imagine, like, if you were explaining boxing to an alien, what would you say? Right? And I was like, you can't explain boxing. Imagine explaining it to an alien. Yeah, what it is, right? You've got these two guys or girls, and we're going to build it up. We're going to like bring them together, trying to get them going at each other in the air. They've got to weigh the same. There's going to be 12 rounds, and around this 3 minutes. And then what we're going to do, once we build it up, and they really want to attack each other, and the whole world wants to watch, we're going to stick them in this little square, right? It's going to be 20 foot by 20 foot, and then there's going to be a guy in the middle wearing a shirt, right? And then there's going to be a bloke with a belt, and he's going to ring the bell, and then both guys are going to basically fight each other for our entertainment. I mean, the whole thing is mad. The whole sport is mad. These guys and girls, they need a lot of credit and a lot of respect. So when they get beat, let's actually thank them for giving us great entertainment if they've done it. You know, I've never been Fury's biggest fan all the time, but what he did was, he gave us an unbelievable fight, one of the best heavyweight fights of recent times, showed unbelievable heart, and lost a narrow decision to one of the greatest fighters of our generation. I don't like all the ha-ha, you know, we're a nation of ha-ha, aren't we? What is that? You know what I mean? It's like you're dying for someone to fail. You know, even I get it, like, it's like, yes, one of Hearn's guys lost, yes, let's do an image of him with hair dye coming down his face and stitch him up.
Fooled me, by the way.
Fucking fooled me and all. I had to go back and watch the video. And like, but you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I saw all the stuff with TalkSport yesterday with Frank and stuff like that. Listen, I don't always agree with what Fury says. Sometimes he goes a little bit too far, but it's also, he's a showman. It's part of the build-up. It's like Josh and Jack this weekend. The pressures of losing, don't be afraid to lose. You know, fear will kill ambition and it will kill opportunity. So chase it, live the dream and give it everything. And if you get beat, we'll bring you back.
Say that, Eddie. Where does the loser go in this fight? Because there's so much built onto it.
We always say that careers are on the line, right? And everyone goes, oh, he's saying it again. When I say careers on the line, it's the career that you want. Doesn't mean Josh and Jack could carry on boxing for 5 years, but they only want to be in big fights at world championship level. If you lose this fight on Saturday, you ain't fighting for a world championship. You're not even in a big fight, really, or a big fight to you. And that's the problem with desire and timing of a career. When you get beat, you come back down. It's snakes and ladders. You come back down. The money's less. The fight's not as big, and when you win, you go up the ladder again, and you get a big fight. If someone can win this fight in style, right, they're going to land a massive fight. Teofimo, Haney, Ryan Garcia, Matthias. Do you know what I mean? But if you can do it in style. The first fight was interesting. I think this is going to be violent. I really do, and I hope it is as well.
To be honest, but I'm Josh's friend. I've known him since he was year high, so it's, I had to do it, Eddie. To drop more names,
Do you want Josh Taylor to win on Saturday?
Was that good enough answer? I'm sorry, I like Jack. Of course, yes. Okay, I want listen. I'm probably not getting an interview now, to be honest. No, I've known Josh a long time and I became friends with Jack, so best man win and hope it gets put to bed, give the winner the flowers and move on. You put him on the spot there, Ed. I'm a wee bit nervous now, a wee bit hot on the call here.
I feel every fucking day.
At least you've nailed it now. You touched on the Frank Warren TalkSport interview. Now you know where Frank was coming from because you know how it is to pick up your fighter, to be on your fighter's corner, to fight his corner when it comes to the press. You know what Frank was sort of half meaning yesterday. So what did you make of the whole back and forth between him, Side and Jordan, even Jim?
I only really saw the clips on Twitter, so TalkSport have got it in for Tyson Fury, right? Whether they did in the start or not, then he banned them, so obviously they're going to have it in for him. This is the dangers of banning someone, right? What they're saying is that he can't take criticism. I don't think we need to criticise him. What are we criticising him for? Not winning? Not beating Alexander Usyk? I mean, does that deserve criticism? Or are you criticising for giving it the big one before, calling him a middleweight, calling him a rabbit, and selling the show to the world? All right, as I said, if you give it the big one and you get beat, unfortunately in this world, you have to take a little bit of stick. But I would rather say, listen, and I'm not, honestly, whenever I can't win, if I slag Fury, everyone goes, you're a hater, and if I back him, everyone goes, oh, now you're only backing him because you want the fight with AJ. It's like, no, I'm just telling you it straight. I watched the fight. I thought Fury was brilliant for 6 rounds. Usyk was unbelievable. It was one of the best fights I've ever watched. It was one of the greatest moments for the sport. Why do we have to, and all it is like TalkSport and all these outlets. They just want drama. Do you know what I mean? They want sound bites. They want clickbait. They want all this. It doesn't really sell Simon Jordan getting Frank on going, how good was Fury? How good was that for boxing? You know, he should be really proud of himself, Frank. What sells and what does numbers is, he's a joke. Gave it the big one, got beat. So it's just the game. You know what I mean? It's just the game. It's just the world we live in. For me, credit when credit's due. Yes, he gave it the big one. Yeah, if the fighters can do it, why can't we do it? Alexander Usyk does the 12 rounds. He goes up to Tyson Fury. The first thing he says is, I pray for you. I pray for you every day. Respect to you. You're a great fighter. And all the stuff that Fury said, he said to him. So if he lets it go, why can't we just realise it's just part of the game? Do you know what I mean? But don't hate the player, hate the game.
That's what they say, Eddie. Now, I saw this sort of ringside thing when the fight was getting announced, or the winner was getting announced, and you and Joshua were going, you were like that, split decision, and Joshua was like Usyk, and that little back and forth. That was the immediate reaction from AJ. Have you spoken to AJ since, and what is his thoughts now? We're 72 hours from the fight now, maybe even longer. What's his thoughts right now with the fight?
Nothing really, same. You know, after the fight I went over to him and my mate Cristiano, and
there's a name drop there.
I said, what do you think? He went, what do you mean? I went, how you got it? He went, oh, Usyk, like 4 rounds. I was like, really? Oh, I've got it close. I still had it for Usyk. He was like, no. I can't actually believe the different, like, I was sitting next to George Warren and Spencer Brown, and I had it, even at best for Usyk, 4-2 after 6. No, Fury 4-2, right? But other people had, like, Usyk in control through the first 6. I mean, Fury got battered in the second 6. Still had him, he might have won the 12, but from 8, didn't win a round, and obviously had the 10-8 round as well. But I thought after 6 rounds, Fury was in a good place. I thought he hurt Usyk a couple of times, and I thought he was starting to take control. But then what Usyk did from there was quite incredible. At times in that first 6 rounds, I felt that Usyk looked like a kid, having a fight with his dad. You know, like jumping up. I was just thinking, physically, I don't think you can get to him. And what he did was unbelievable. Like, he's fucking brilliant fighter, and that's such a nice bloke as well. You know, maybe I'm just getting old and soft. Can't we just go, how good is it for boxing? Like, what a great fight it was. You know, two warrior, like, but we can't do it, can we? We haven't got it within ourselves, you know, to just appreciate greatness, really, and effort and sacrifice and all these things that some people give that others don't for their career and for greatness. And it's a shame because it kind of deters people a little bit from enjoying it anymore, you know. I think we had it a little bit with AJ when he lost to Ruiz. You know what I mean? Just the flick of the switch from fans and stuff like that. It's like, just makes you fall out of love with it a little bit and go, oh, you know, like, do you want to get it back? I don't really want to get it back because I've had that now and it don't really feel the same, you know. Fury will really struggle to deal with this. Do you know what I mean? Because he's a winner. And he's never lost before, and it's the first defeat of his career. And he's a happy-go-lucky guy, and he'll give it the big one. But deep down, there'll be dark times, and there'll be dark nights. But the dark times and the dark nights are what actually fuel you to come back stronger. You know, when you go through a bad period in your life or your career or whatever it is, it's actually just strengthening you. That's all it's doing. At the time, it won't feel like that. But you've got to feel the pain, you've got to accept the pain, and you've got to use it to fuel the comeback and make you stronger. And if it doesn't feel like you want to come back, then it's time for you to go. Do you know what I mean? It's got to hurt. I remember when AJ beat Ruiz, I lost to Ruiz. Like, I went round to his apartment in New York and he was like, yeah, you know, like, he had all these people there. He didn't want to show any pain. Yeah, look, I was boxing, you know, like, and I'm like looking at him thinking, oh, you are hurting so bad right now. And I'm like, and I always say to a fighter when they lose, this has got to hurt. It's got to, I want you to sit up at night crying in defeat. Because if it doesn't hurt, don't come back. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. That's the feeling. If you don't have the passion for it, if you don't have the hunger for it, and that's what Fury's got to do now. He's got to sulk, he's got to lick his wounds, cry if he can, be down in the dumps, and at some point, there'll come a time where he'll go, fuck it, I'm going to beat him. And that's when you go back to the gym.
What interests me, Eddie, so the best person to maybe learn from this is, to give Fury advice, is maybe AJ, because after the Usyk rematch, the loss, we've seen AJ's mental state with the mic. Fury done the same thing with, or they're supporting the Ukraine war and whatnot.
Fury doesn't need advice. AJ doesn't need advice. Just feel it within. Do you know what I mean? Just control your feel your emotions, right? And the emotions right now is, you'll be flying home. I've seen it. You know, even when you're down, I'm down in the dumps. You're with your kids, you're playing around, your heart ain't in it. You're trying to be your dad, you're like, yeah, come on guys, oh yeah. Oh, sorry about what happened, Eddie. No, don't be silly. No, we're back next week, we've got another show, don't worry. Inside, you're dying, and it's like, and then, but as the days pass, as the pain heals, but you've still got to sit in there, and it's still got to fuel the fire. You know, and that's the thing about, you know, Romans 8:18. Right, you know, I'm not overly religious guy, but you know, I read this psalm, which is, it basically says that the pain of what you're feeling at the moment is nothing compared to the joy of what's coming. And that quote for me is relatable to everything, right? It's relatable to a death within the family. It's relatable to losing your job. It's relatable to getting beat in the ring. It's relatable to being in the gym or doing a marathon and going through that moment. Yeah, the pain of what you're feeling is nothing compared to the joy of what's coming. So what that means is, in life, when the pain comes, you know that joy is on the other side. But you have to, it's a weird thing, you have to actually feel the pain. Do you know what I mean? And that is my religious ceremony for the day.
I'm impressed. A couple more from me, because I know there's a couple more people, so a couple more. Next week, I'm going to Saudi Arabia. I'm looking forward to it. How you mentioned about the pressure and enjoyment of the sport. How are you feeling?
Yeah, look, as I just said there, yeah, it goes around, comes around. I'm just coming off the back of, I know I didn't promote the main event last week, but I was involved as a promoter of the show. One of the greatest shows I've ever seen. Taylor Catterall in Leeds, and then back out to Riyadh for the 5v5. That's what I'm saying.
You nervous?
You know, no, I'm so excited. I mean, it's everything. You know, I can't wait to get out there and go to the hotel, go and see Craig, see Ray, see Ammo. Deontay Wilder looks unbelievable right now. Mate, we could be in a position where Wilder against Zhang, I may need him to win by knockout to win the tournament, or we might have it sewn up, and if he gets beat, we lose. I mean, there's so many.
I think it comes down to the captains.
Maybe. But I cannot wait, mate. You're going to see an amazing event next Saturday in Riyadh. But first of all, let's get this British blockbuster out of the way.
Last one then. Told you about the card. George Vizioli, George Leddard, some talented.
Matchroom against Queensbury, right? It's Chev Clark against Ellis Sorrow. Fair play to Ellis Sorrow. In there now. Good fighter coming back off the upper tire knockout. Chev's looked fantastic so far. Ritson against Paddy Donovan, great fight. Gary Cully's got a tough fight. Vizioli, great fighter. Lady Butterduke, George Leddard. Great night of boxing. Check this atmosphere out on Saturday. It's going to be electric.
Eddie, thanks very much, mate. Thank you.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.